All right, welcome everybody. This is a breaking news report, and as we were doing our picks a little bit earlier on, this news decided to break. According to John Heyman, Buck Showalter has agreed to a 3-year deal to manage the Mets. Thoughts?
I don't really have too many thoughts, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going to change in that Met system because we thought that the Met, it goes back to what I've said before in the ETV minutes. Same old Mets under Cohen. This was a team that had first place in the NL East up through by the All-Star break and then just epically collapsed and missed the playoffs. I guess, this is a little controversial take, but I don't mind the Mets having an old school style manager. I think
I agree.
that's a team that probably needs it after a whole mess of 2020 and 2021 when Carlos Beltran was supposed to take over the team and then got fired before even managing a game because of the whole Houston Astros situation. And then Luis Rojas, I mean, let's be honest, he sucked as a manager. He's going to suck as a third base coach for the Yankees. So I actually don't mind the Mets having somebody like a Showalter.
I mean, I'm tired of all the analytics-based managing where you see them managing with a binder and pitchers can't go past one
Well,
time in the batting order stuff.
Here's my question. You know, it's not so much about the managerial thing for the Mets. It's the Mets made all these, big moves so far the off season prior to lockout happening with their signings of I'm sorry, I'm sick.
No, I get it. No, I'm just saying, like, you're talking about some of the signings they made in the offseason already with, the guy from Pittsburgh, the outfielder, Marte.
Marte.
The guy from Oakland. Yeah, like they signed quite a few people, but it's interesting. It kind of reminds me of
Scherzer,
but it reminds me of what's his name who managed in Atlanta.
Escobar. Snicker.
No.
Bobby Cox.
Yeah, Bobby Cox. This move kind of reminds me of the Bobby Cox move, which in my opinion I like because it takes you away from just the analytics. It's saying I'm going to use my gut to manage. I love that about baseball.
Yeah, but you know what? But again, I don't think it's so much for the Mets is going to come down to analytics versus old school or talent versus no talent. Like I said last season, where they had an analytics-based manager and all the talent in the world, that NL should have been theirs, and they just collapsed. It's not so much about a style of baseball for the Mets or the Stars. It's a matter of can the Mets actually be a competitive baseball team and avoid these epic collapses that we're so used to the Mets doing.
I mean, do I think it'll help with the locker room? I think it'll help with the locker room. I think it'll help stop the BS that was going on with a lot of the big star names.
Like the Lindor situation.
Yeah, now the Noah Syndergaard situation, him being out, I think that just had to do with injuries. I mean, part of it, he had an attitude problem, but at the same time, I think the Mets had to do away with him because I just think they were not handling that whole situation well.
Well, Mats, I mean, what are we talking about with Mats? Cohen's the baby. Yeah, you make all the promises in the world. It all comes down to money and where you think you're going to be best to get a championship. And right now, even with all the signings the Mets made, in my opinion, it's not in the Mets.
And I also think Showalter was cheaper. That's just my opinion.
Probably.
I think that they probably got him for $3-4 million a year, maybe, and they're not paying because they were talking to Osmus. I think was one of the guys they were talking to.
Brad Osmus, yeah.
They were talking to the White Sox bench coach. I think also they were talking to a lot of guys, but I think experience is needed because you won't take Lindor's shit anymore. I don't care what your contract is. He's going to say, listen, man, you got to play with the team or else you're not going to play. So
again, I'm not so worried about the manager or the stars that they have. I want to see if the Mets actually hold up and can actually be a legitimate baseball team, actually a legitimate competitive baseball team.
All right, so that was the big news. According to John Heyman, Buck Showalter, 3-year deal to manage the Mets, and we'll see how it goes. So Just make sure you stay with us at ETP Sports. Follow all of us on social media. It's down below. And we'll be back January 8th with new shows. So we'll see you around.